Hi, my name is Morgan Ortiz, and this is a speech presentation on time management. Um, so, essentially, what I'm going to do is just start out with an outline in regards to at least what helps me in regards to managing time. So, the first one I do is just prioritize. So, what's important to me, what needs to get done. And the next thing I do is know when to say no. That's kind of hard for me as far as saying no. Always wanting to be helpful. So again, that goes to the prioritizing, just knowing when to say no, who to say no to, and how to go about it. And number three is getting organized. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. Number four is use all available time. So any time that you can use to be productive in regards to work or school, or anything that you're trying to accomplish, don't waste time. And then also just essentially just break it up into small pieces. So like the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time. So same thing there. Certain things can seem to be overwhelming if they're a huge chunk or a huge project, but if you break anything down really into small pieces, it's you can accomplish it. Also, it's multitasking, but doing it, using it to your advantage. So, I'm certainly not one to sit and work and do everything 24/7 or anything like that. But again, like the saying goes, work smarter, not harder. So if I'm sitting around watching TV or something like that, check emails or pay bills or something like that. And then also get a routine. I wake up at 6 in the morning each morning. I go run. I do I lift and all that stuff before I go to work. And so when I get home, I have a bunch of time in regards to school and other things for my family, kids, all that good stuff. So it's pretty, and then also it just keeps on track as far as prioritizing. So again, I'm just going into prioritizing. So know what needs to happen first, how important it is, how urgent, just avoiding time wasters. So for me, I spend an hour on the most important things. It's a good idea because even if you get the whole thing done in an hour, you are, at least for me, I'm more likely to go back to it. Also, for me, is important is setting goals, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly type of thing. And obviously, your yearly goals, you're not going to be able to accomplish them in a week's time or anything like that. It's just building up to it. And also just deciding if what you are doing will move you closer to those goals, and just staying focused during that. And also there's also the 80-20 rule by Kelly. It's an old rule of thumb that states that 20% of your efforts will yield 80% of your results. You should always look for those actions that create the most results. Make them your priority. And again, that's Kelly from 2010. It's a good thing to stick by, that's for sure. And so as far as knowing when to say no, no interruptions really, avoiding procrastination, and then just getting to it, just working on the task itself, and just don't hesitate as far as going at it, and then also just learning how to delegate. Can't do everything in regards to when you're trying to finish a task or a project or something like that. If you can delegate, then by all means do so. And then just being organized, write things down as far as what needs to be done. I know for me at least, there's always something that I forget if I don't write it down, just because there's so many things that are happening. So it's just a lot easier for me to write it down, and then I can just also see my progress as far as what I've done, what needs to be done, things like that. And then also, for me, organize time by your project. So again, that's going into prioritizing. So really, it's how much time can I give to this? How much time should I give to that? And stuff like that. So let's see. And then as far as the time, you got to set aside time to complete tasks, whether it's exercise, cooking, reading, things like that. So it doesn't matter. It's the same thing when it comes to work. So what I do is I dedicate blocks of time to certain things, and you can break them up into increments. As far as again, it's just that one bite at a time mentality, and you can just work steady throughout the whole time. That for me, that really accomplishes a lot in regards to time, and just try to limit your interruptions. It's almost impossible to have zero interruptions, at least for me, with two little ones running around if I'm trying to do work at home or school at home or something like that. But even in the field that I'm in now, there's always constant interruptions. But again, it's just working smart on that in regards to, if you have an interruption. For me, I use it as almost a break from work. So, and again, as far as small pieces, it's just breaking it down into smaller pieces for your work. That, for me, it relieves stress. It prevents work or school or whatever project you're working on. It prevents that from becoming overwhelming. And then also, by breaking it down into smaller pieces, for me, it helps me avoid procrastinating. Just because that, for whatever reason, that does work for me, and it seems like it works for others as well. And then for me, if you place it on, and this goes back to writing it down, if you place it on your schedule, again, it shows you what you have to do, and so you kind of, for me, it really helps by writing it down, scheduling it, and that you can accomplish that. And then as far as multitasking, that can always be helpful. Technology offers new ways, saves times, and you can work more efficiently by multitasking. The thing that I mentioned prior, using your dead time or downtime in regards to being productive. So a big thing for me is, I mentioned, I work out and I exercise in the morning, and if I'm not running outside or biking outside, I usually read or do something in regards to that if I'm inside the gym, and then also just returning calls, emails, etc. if I'm waiting on something, or just watching TV. I also pay bills while I'm watching TV, or even trying to set up future appointments or meetings and things like that while I'm essentially just waiting. And again, as far as a routine, setting up a time that works best for you, and then just keeping that same schedule that not only keeps you accountable as far as what you're supposed to be doing, but as far as the people that are close to you, lets them know too, as far as what they can expect from you at a certain time or day, things like that. And then for me, it's maintaining that schedule and that routine, and then it's just fitting everything else into it. And that's pretty much for me. I mean, that's kind of how I manage my time, and it seems to be working for me. Thanks.